Hello, hello. I'm in a little hotel in Amsterdam with kind of a broken heart. I was supposed to be on a flight to Israel, and of course, the war between Israel and Iran started, and everything is cancelled. Who knows for how long? That's not the real tragedy. That's not what I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because of the devastation. The amount of people that get injured, the amount of people who die, the loss to property and progress. Um, there's something in economics called deadweight loss. There's a regular loss, like if I buy coffee for $1 more from you, you make $1, I lose $1. That's not really a loss in economics because money just transfers hands. But war is probably the best example of deadweight loss. Yes, weapon manufacturers make some money, but in general, the amount of destruction is crazy. And my books were translated into Arabic, and some people from the Arabic world read my book, and some of them write me. But I have the largest number of readers in the Arab world in general from Iran. I think there's even some illegal translation in Persian, but and people write me a lot, and I talk to lots of people from that part of the world. And my sense is that I also have lots of Iranian friends in the US. My sense is that Israelis and Iranians have a lot of similarities. We could have been great friends. We're not. Not because of the majority and not because of the average, because of some extremes who are kind of taking the kidnapping society. And I feel there's more and more examples of the extremes kidnapping society and costing all of us a lot. And I feel we're hostages. I feel that we're hostages of bad leadership, that too many of the countries are bad leadership. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot about the injured, the devastation, the being kidnapped by bad leadership. Trying to think about what are some examples of situations where we're kind of able to overcome our human nature. So I meant the distribution of people who are more peaceful, more violent, and then let's say that the people who are more violent take role in taking over the government and imposing their will on other people and using hate and us versus them and brutality as a mechanism to keep the government going and so on. What are some mechanisms that overcome this? And I think the answer is difficult to implement, but quite obvious. The European Union has made incredible steps forward. We can't imagine, in Ukraine and Russia, of course, a terrible situation, but hard to imagine countries within Europe starting to fight. The US had wars until they became one country. And I think the answer, the simple answer eventually is shared institutions. How do we create a situation where people have dramatically more to benefit from working together than being against each other? And I think that shared institution is incredibly important. Central bank together, rules together, food authority together, drug administration together, all of those things together. Now, can we have something like this for the whole world? Maybe it's tough. Could we have some regional things, and for the Middle East to have some kind of shared institutions? So, as a strategy, I find myself that every time there's a tragedy, I try to find out what's the silver lining, what's the path forward. It's kind of part of my faulty personality. I love to be optimistic, and I look for the optimistic parts. And in this case, I wonder, like, what if we made a list of all the institutions out there, all the institutions we could have for society? What are kind of the lowest hanging fruit? What are some of the institutions that a new Middle East could have, that maybe could bring people together? Would it be a water authority that could help us together? Maybe electricity. The world is consuming more and more electricity. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe water and electricity together in some way. Anyway, terribly sad days. I can't just mellow in the sadness. I'm also trying to think about the positive side, and maybe it's to make a list of all the institutions possible and to think about what are the institutions that are the easiest to get us to have together as a step forward. In any case, I don't know how long I'll be here in Amsterdam, but I hope things would stop quickly, soon. Start negotiating the next phase of a new Middle East. Wishing us all better times. Bye for now.